Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in for another week, and if you're new to this channel, welcome. Guys, I have got some good news for you. Guys, did you know if you are standing up a new LLC in the state of California that your filing fees are free? That's right, guys. That is a savings of $800 as long as you do it by June of this year, so June of 2023. So guys, this is a perfect segue for an announcement that I have for you. That's right, guys. On September 23rd and September 24th, I will be in Northern California in person with you, so that we can do a 2-day course and get you licensed so that you could stand up your home care agency. Guys, I hope you're excited because I know that I am. So I want you to go ahead, form your LLCs, get them done for free. Like I said, you want to do this by June, okay? So that you can come take your course with me in September, so that we can go ahead and get you started in the right direction. So we can go ahead and get you your home care agency. So guys, I hope you're excited as much as I am. I'm gonna go ahead and have the link in the video description for you to sign up for now. I'll let you know when registration opens and when I actually have more details in terms of the logistics for you to come. And then secondly, don't forget guys, I'm doing a webinar at the end of this month. This webinar is going to be a live webinar. It's the last Saturday of the month, March 25th. I'm doing a webinar. It's called From Launch to Operations. And guys, this webinar was inspired by some conversations that I'm having with some of you who have either already submitted your licensing packet to the state, or some of you are already licensed, but maybe you're not getting the traction that you had anticipated, and so you're not quite sure what to do. So if you fall into either of those categories, then this webinar is for you. So guys, I already have opened registration. I will also have that link in the video description for you. Okay guys, let's transition to today's content. So in today's video, a lot of you guys have talked about orientation, right? So how do you orient or how do you onboard your new home care aides to your home care agencies? So if that's something that you're interested in, then stay tuned. Okay, so remember, when you are orienting your new home care aides to your business, remember this is something that your employees are really excited for. They're excited because they just accepted a new position with your company. They're starting their careers off with you, so they're excited about their new positions. And then you're equally as excited, right? Because this is your new employee, you're really excited to bring them on board, and you want them to do a good job. So remember, this is their first day for hopefully something that's going to be a long relationship that you're going to have with them. So you want to make sure that you have planned to have a good first experience with them. So you really want to make sure that your orientation is something that sets the tone for the rest of your employees' employment, okay? So what does the state mandate? The state mandates that the employee receives at least 5 hours of training before they see an actual client. So you want to spend some of that time with them actually training on the job, but you want to spend some time with speaking with them prior to them actually even starting the training. So today I have prepared 3 topics that you can discuss with your employee to ensure that their orientation is a good one. So if you're ready for that, then stay tuned. So the first item that I have for you is the job description. You guys, this is really important because remember, when a person's looking for a job, typically they're applying for 20, 25 jobs, right? They're not really looking specifically at what your job description says and how it differs from someone else, right? So you want to make sure that a person understands specifically what you are asking for them to do. So what happens generally is if a person is not doing well at their job, the first thing that a person will always tell you is, oh, I didn't know that was something that I was supposed to be doing, or, oh, I didn't know that you were looking for me to do that. So to avoid that, during orientation, you want to pull out a copy of the job description and just go over it with that person to make sure that that person is understanding of the tasks and responsibilities that you're looking for them to do. As soon as you guys kind of overview it, you look through it, you definitely want to take that time to see if that person understands what's being expected of them and see what questions that they have. If there are no questions, or if you have answered any questions that they may have, just have them do a quick initial, have them date it, you do the same, make sure that they have a copy, and then you want to slide a copy over that to their file. This way you guys are both on the same page as it relates to what's being expected of them. Guys, the second item that I have for you today is policies and procedures. Now guys, this is a big one. You've already turned in your policies and procedures, and remember the state wants to see your entire document at one time. And you've already given your entire document to your employee. It's unreasonable to think that a person is going to read a 65-page document. However, you want to make sure as that home care agency owner that that employee is aware, especially if they are taking care of clients on your behalf, that they are aware of some processes and policies within that document. So you want to pull out those processes and policies ahead of time to talk about them with your employee during orientation. So a good example of that is wages, hours, break times, right? These are some of the things. Do you expect them to take breaks at a certain time? Do you expect them to take lunch at a certain time? What about transporting a client? What does body mechanics look like when you're taking them out of the bed, when you're transporting them from the bed to somewhere else? What does that look like? Is there a specific body movement when they're doing that? What does that look like? Do they have to take certain classes by a certain time? When is that certain time? What are those classes? So those are things that you want to make sure that you discuss with them. And again, documentation is key here. You want to make sure that there's a signature and there's a date. Who had the conversation? When did they have the conversation? And then who's acknowledging that the conversation was had? Again, because you have this person's full attention, you want to make sure that it is acknowledged, and if there's any questions or concerns, those questions and concerns are acknowledged and answered at that time. Now guys, it's okay. A person may ask you a question and you don't know the answer to it. That's okay, guys. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not sure that particular question, right? What I will do is follow up with you as soon as I can. And guys, you want to make sure that that question doesn't linger too long, because again, this is this person's employment, right? And so they want to make sure that they're doing a good job for you. They want to make sure that they understand and they have the tools needed in order to do a good job for you. So if they don't have the answer, you make sure you let them know that their question is absolutely important. So 24, 48 hours is a pretty good expectation for you to turn around and answer to that question. And you want to make sure you put it in writing, right? Because this is something that you can put in that person's file to make sure that you've supplied that answer. Okay? So again, you want to make sure that you turn that around quickly, and you want to make sure that you address all questions. So policies and procedures. This is an absolute good time to make sure that everyone is in the know about what you expect them to know about their position. The third and final tip that I have for you today is culture and your non-negotiables. Now this is so important. Remember, you are the home care agency owner, so you set the tone of your culture. If you don't want a toxic workplace, then you make sure you address any toxic behavior. And remember, people are looking at you. People are looking to see how you address things. And remember, if you don't address things, then you're letting people know that you are okay with any bad toxic behavior that's going on. So you want to make sure if you see good behavior, if there's great attendance going on, if clients are calling you, they're giving you good feedback, that is good behavior. Reward it, acknowledge it. Make sure you're letting everyone know. I remember a previous job that I had, we used to have caught on the spot awards. They were just certificates that we printed out on the computer, but it was so nice to see people having their caught on the spot awards printed up out their workstations. People like to be acknowledged. They like to know that their ethic and that their hard work is appreciated. So you want to make sure that you're awarding the good, addressing the bad. I cannot remember where I heard this before, but remember, you want to praise in public, but you want to criticize in private. So if there's something that's a conversation that needs to be had that's a little bit more of the critical nature, remember, you want to pull that person aside. You just want to have that conversation. And remember, coaching conversations are more to develop, right? We're not trying to destroy, we're not trying to tear anybody down, especially because we put a lot of time and we put a lot of effort into hiring this person. So we want to coach them up. We want to build them up. And so we want to remember, in those coaching conversations, it's really about addressing the behavior and bringing that person up. So we want to remember that's the purpose of the conversation. So just remember that when you have those conversations. The last company that I had did this really well. They really knew how to make sure everybody that worked at the company knew their role as it related to culture. We all knew that we loved to work there, and so we all felt very protective of making sure that the culture represented the place that we all love to work for. And so that's what you want to do for your home care agencies. You want to make sure that you create the culture that you want to work for. When I say your non-negotiables, what are the items that you do not want, no matter what? For me, if a person is not truthful with me, it's hard to get past that. And so if that's a non-negotiable for you, you have to address those things right away. So whatever your non-negotiables are, and guys, this is an actual good tip that calls back to tip number 2, which is your policies and procedures. Whatever your non-negotiables are, you want to make sure you discuss those in your policies and procedures. Because whatever that line in the sand is, you want to make sure you draw that line in the sand. You want to make sure you're upfront with what those non-negotiables are. Because if you give people an inch, they will take a mile. Okay? So you want to make sure in your organization, whatever those non-negotiables are, that they are loudly stated, and you make sure that you're willing to follow through with whatever that program says. Okay? Typically what's fair is some type of warning, some type of write-up, and then whatever that next step disciplinary action is. Okay? But again, that should be stated in your policies and procedures. So typically you have that folder, and on the left side is any documents that they can take home with themselves. On the right side are any acknowledgments that they can pull out and sign. And so it's kind of nice to present them with that folder, maybe a pen, and then whatever their gift is. So again, you're kind of putting that right foot forward, putting that best foot forward so that person feels welcome to your organization. Again, it's going to depend on what your budget is. Okay, so guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Guys, if you already have home care agencies, what do you do? What do you guys do for your orientation? I would love to hear your comments in the comment section. Guys, if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I release a new video. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Stay blessed.